Hello again, it's me and Ben, Trudy and Ben. We're going to do a tutorial today about expanding brackets, and then if we get a chance we'll expand brackets and then solve equations as well, but we may not have time for that. We'll see how we get on. Okay, I'll move that a little bit. So we're going to, why does that feel not right? Hang on, I'm trying to get it lined up exactly right. I think that's okay. So we're going to start off with expanding a bracket. So we might have in an exam question, it might say expand these expressions. So we've got 4 brackets y plus 2. And to expand it, you multiply everything inside the bracket by the one thing that's sitting right next to the bracket. So in this case, we're doing 4 times y and then 4 times 2. So this will give us, if we expand that, it would be 4y plus, because 4 times 2, positive 4 times positive 2 will give us 8. So it's going to be plus 8. I would just say on here, if this, sometimes you'll have a negative number here, so I need to explain about how you deal with negatives. If you have a positive number times by a positive number, that will give you a positive number. So 4 times 2 will give you 8. I just hope you can read that. If I have a positive number times a negative number, that will give me a negative number. So that will be minus 8. So when the signs here are different, you will end up with a negative number. If I had negative 4 times by negative 4, no, sorry, that should be 2. Negative 4 times negative 2, that would give me positive 8, because a negative times a negative gives a positive. So basically, if the signs are the same and you're multiplying them together, you get a positive number. If the signs are different and you multiply them together, you get a negative number. So negative times a negative gives you positive, and a positive times a negative gives you a negative. So that might come in handy in a little while when we get negative numbers. So that's our first one. Second one, we're going to do 6x in brackets plus 7. So we multiply 6 by x to give us 6x plus 6 7s. Do you know that, Ben?
42.
Well done. 6 7s are 42. 3. So now we've got another one. So we've got 7y plus 3. So again, 7 times y will give us 7y plus 7 times 3, 21. Lovely, well done, Ben. Now, I'll make them a little bit more tricky by putting a negative in there. Hope you can see, I'm just moving that up. So we've got this time negative 4 brackets x plus 5. So we do negative 4 times x. Well, that's going to give us negative 4x. And then we've got minus 4 times by positive 5. So I'll write that over here. Minus 4 times by positive 5. Well, 5 4s are 20. And we've got a negative times a positive. So that's going to give us negative 20. So that's going to be minus 4x minus 20. The next one, we've got minus 6 brackets x plus 3. So we've got minus 6 times x gives us minus 6x. And then we've got minus 6 times 3. I'll write it over here. Minus 6 times 3 equals, well, what are 6 3s? Do you know, Ben?
24, not 18.
Well done. And we've got a negative times a positive. So that's going to give us a negative. So it's going to be minus 6x minus 18. This might, you won't need to write this out when you're doing them. You'll just get, as you get more familiar, you'll get used to just doing minus 6x minus 18. That's just to show you about the negatives and the positives. One more of those. You've got minus 7. I hope you can read it. I'll move it up a little bit. Minus 7x plus 2. So again, we've got minus 7 times x, so that gives us minus 7x. And then we've got minus 7 times 2, that's going to give us minus 2 7s are 14. So that's how you do those ones. Sometimes you get 2 negatives, so I'll show you a couple of those as well. So we'll have minus 3, x minus 5. So it's minus 3 times x gives us, do you know what these are, Ben? Minus 3 times x, what will that give you?
3x.
Is it positive or negative?
Negative.
Well done, minus 3x. And then we've got minus 3 times minus 5. What will that give us? So 3 5s.
15.
Okay, and minus times a minus gives you?
Positive.
Well done. So plus 15. So another one. So we've got minus 2 brackets x minus 8. So minus 2 times x will be minus 2x. Minus 2 times minus 8, well 2 8s is 16, and it's negative negative, so it's going to be positive 16. So minus 2 times minus 8, 2 8s is 16, minus times a minus gives a positive. And then we've got, I hope you can read that, can't really see on my phone, minus 7 x minus 8. Minus 7 times x, minus 7x. 7 8s are 56, and it's minus times a minus gives a positive, so it's going to be plus 56. Okay, so that's those ones done. They're going to get a little bit harder now, so let's just move that up to there. Hopefully you can see it. So we've got 2 now to make it a little bit more complicated. So I'm going to do 4. I don't think you've seen these ones, Ben, so you might want to look over my shoulder. Plus 5x plus 6. So again, we do the same thing. We do 4 times x, so that's going to give us 4x. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 3s are 12. Plus 5 times x, that's 5x, plus 6 5s are 30. So we've expanded our brackets, and actually with this one we can then collect up like terms. Well, you have to look for the ones that match. So with this is a 4x and this is a 5x, so they're like terms because they're the same. So 5x plus 4x, 9x, well done. And then these numbers match, they're just numbers, no x's on them or no x squareds on them or anything. So we've got 30 plus 12 gives 42. Us 42. Well done, Ben. Okay. And we've got another one like that. So we're going to have 8y plus 3, that's a positive there, plus 5y minus 3. So that one's a little bit harder because it's got a negative in there. So we multiply this together, so we end up with 8y, 3 8s, 24. You happy with that? Plus 5 times y is 5y. And then here we've got 5 times minus 3, so that's going to be minus 15. Just write it over here, I hope you can see it. So what I did here was 5, positive 5, times minus 3. So it gives us 15, the numbers, and then we need to make it negative because there's a positive multiplied by a negative. So it gives us 15. Okay, another one. So we've got 5 brackets x minus 2 plus 8. Oh, I didn't collect those up. I'll just do that in a minute. 8 x plus 2. Now I just made a mistake here in not collecting them up, so I'm going to collect my like terms. I'll do it over here, otherwise it gets too muddled. So what's 8y plus 5y, Ben?
40y.
adding them together.
13y.
Well done, 13y. And then what's 24 plus 24 minus 15? Collecting up these, so 24
9.
minus 15 plus 9. Okay, that was me. I should have collected that up earlier. So we'll expand this one. So 5x, because that's 5 times x. 5 times minus 2 gives us minus 10. Plus 8 times x is 8x. Plus 8 times 2 8s are 16. So I can collect up my like terms. So these ones match. So I've got 8 plus 5 again. That's the same. Ben? So it's
13.
13x. And then I've got negative 10, because these two match, plus 16. So what's
6.
negative 10? Very good. Plus 6. So that's collected up my like terms. And another one. I'm just hoping you can see it on there. Where am I at? So 9 brackets x minus 3 plus 4 x minus 4. So again, expanding my brackets. So I do 9 times x to give me 9x. 3 9s. Penny, 3 9s?
18, 27.
27, well done. And it's positive 9 times negative 3. So that's going to be negative 27. And then this is 4 times x, so plus 4x. And then I've got 4 times minus 4. So that's going to be
Minus 8.
4 4s.
12.
4 4s.
18. 20.
4 4s, 16. Minus 16. And it's negative because this is positive and this is negative. So now we've got 9 plus 4 because these are like terms.
13.
Yep, so 13x. And then we've got minus 27 minus 16. So what's that going to give us? Can you do that?
No.
Minus 43. Because this is you're sitting on negative 27 and you're making it more negative by taking off 16. So it's going to go to be more negative, so minus 43. Okay. We'll do one more of those. We'll do, which one was that? That one. So we'll do 6 x minus 1 minus 7 x minus 2. So we've got 6 times x, well that's going to give me 6x. And I've got 6 times minus 1, so that's going to give me minus 6. And then I've got minus 7 times x, that's going to be minus 7x. And then I've got minus 7 times minus 2, where 2 7s are 14. And it's a negative times a negative, so that's going to give me positive 14. Now these two are matching because they're both numbers with an x after them. So that's going to give me negative x because you're sitting on 6x and you're taking off 7, so that's going to become more negative. So it's going to be minus x or minus 1x if you want to see it like that. And then we've got minus 6 plus 14. That's going to give us positive 8 because we're sitting on minus 6 and we're adding on 14. Okay. Now that's how they work. I'll do one more and then we'll stop. I don't know if we'll have time for equations actually. I'll do them next time probably. So page 129. The other ones you'll get given in an exam are double brackets when they're multiplied together. So for example, you'll have x plus 3 and x plus 6. And they'll ask you to expand and simplify these expressions. So what this is meaning is you're going to multiply this one by this one. Now, I always like doing a little grid with these. I think it's quite satisfying, and you usually get the right answer as well. If you do, some people do a claw, but often that gets them the wrong answer. But this one tends to be more accurate for my students. So we're going to multiply each of these together. So we're going to go x times x. That gives me x squared. Now that's a good point. So if I have x plus x, that equals 2x. If I have x times x, that gives me x squared. And that's something which people often get wrong. So x plus x is 2x. X times x is x squared. And if you had x times x times x, that would equal x cubed. So just remember the difference between adding them together and collecting up like terms, which is what we did earlier on, and multiplying them together. So we've done x times x to give us x squared, and now we're doing 3 times x, that gives us 3x. Now we're doing 6 times x, that gives us 6x, and then we're doing 6 times 3, 6 3s are 18. So expanding these brackets gives us x squared plus, well, if you look here, these are like terms because it's 6x and 3x, so I can add those together to give me 9x plus 18. So actually, x plus 3, x plus 6 is the same as x squared plus 9x plus 18. They're the same thing, they're just written in a different way. I'll do another one like that. I'm going to do one with a negative in it because they get a little bit more annoying, a bit more complicated. So we're going to have x plus 6, x minus 2. So again, we'll do our grid. So we're going to have x, 6, x minus 2. So x times x gives me x squared. 6 times x gives me 6x. Minus 2 times x gives me minus 2x. And minus 2 times 6, 2 6s are 12, but it's negative 12 because this is negative 2, so it's a negative times a positive. So this gives me x squared plus 6x minus 2x minus 12. Now here we've got some like terms, so I can collect those up. So that simplifies to x squared. I've got 6x, I'm taking off 2x, so that'll give me 4x minus 12. I'll do one more of those. We'll do this one. So we've got x minus 2, x plus 8. So again, I do my grid. So I've got x minus 2, x plus 8. So x squared, because x times x is x squared. Minus 2 times x gives me minus 2x. 8 times x gives me 8x. 2 times 8, well 2 8s are 16, but it's minus 2, so it's going to be minus 16, because a negative number times a positive number gives me a negative number. So this one's given me x squared minus 2x plus 8x minus 16. So I've got these two I can collect up because they're like terms. So I've got x squared minus 2 add on 8, so minus 2x plus 8x. So I'm sitting on minus 2 and I'm adding on 8, so that'll give me plus 6x minus 16. And I think that's probably everything today. Thank you, I hope you enjoyed it and I hope that was useful. See you on Friday.